Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on Risk of Rain. In this episode, we're going to go on the hardest difficulty just to make it a bit more challenging. Now, we do have a slight difference in choices here. So we do have the ability to get all of our items however we want them, the choose your items artifact. And we have the artifact of storms, which doubles the enemy spawns but halves their max health. Then, just to make it so that we don't have to worry too much about you know, any actual hunting of chests and everything, we have this artifact of sacrifice. So monsters drop items on deaths, but chests no longer spawns. This means that if we now, for instance, if we were to go engineer like we did last time, we have a bunch of different skins to choose. If we were to have gone engineer, it would have been very easy for us because we could just sit around, kill enemies, get items, kill enemies, like farm items that way. Which is why I'm going the bandit instead. Which, as you can see, I have a few skills to my disposal here. Now, one thing that I like about the bandit is, number one, he does high damage off the start. He does have a clip size, so I can only shoot like 4 bullets, as you can see. I then have to reload. Then he has his right-click ability, which I've changed. Instead of being a melee attack, for me, it is a range. Oh, sorry about that. It is a ranged attack where I throw a ship. There's our first item. Then we get our wonderful shift ability. Now this is what's really good for movement anyway, is it acts as a semi-double jump, which is very good for us, and it allows us to do quite the skillful amount of things. Because we can use it for a lot of movement, and it makes us go invisible so we can escape dangerous situations like we were just in. Next is our R ability, which allows us to just blast enemies like this. And every time you get a kill with your R, it actually refreshes the cooldown of the R. So as you can see, I didn't get a kill there, so I can't use it again. But it is a one-shot kill weapon for every enemy except for bosses, essentially. Again, we're going to just go invisible here. And then go back to shooting. Now, I do need to find a way to just get life back. As you can see, we are quite low. So first thing we're going to get is a will-o-wisp. This will allow us to clear out enemies quite quickly. This over here is a logbook for the beetle that describes the lore of each of the enemies. There it is. And we're dead instead. Okay. So I had to find the location of that item, which is my bad. But regardless, this is essentially the premise of the episode. Now, bandits, especially alone, is not that strong. But now that you all know his abilities, as you can even read them here, there is different ones. Like I could take the melee version, I could take the other ranged version, but this is the preferred loadout for me. I like this one just a lot more than the others. Now that we are done. So now that you guys know what the abilities loadout is, you know how it all works, and I have happily explained everything that I wanted to explain for now. I'm essentially just going to now go about, like we did in the last episode that we did on Risk of Rain, I'm going to quickly go around getting all the items that we can get for a while, and then I will be back. Whoa. Now, one thing that I recommend for those that are going to be attempting this challenge along the way too, is there is a lot of better classes you can go. I've gone this class just to make it a bit more challenging on myself. But I always recommend doing these when you're safe. A Shrine of Combat initiates a bunch of enemy spawns, typically of dangerous monsters, so I'm betting... Oh, we were actually quite lucky this time around and it was only some wisps. But don't let that fool you, because there were even some enchanted wisps there. Always take those whenever you are safe enough to do so, because they are extremely useful in the sense of they give you a great amount of enemies to fight, meaning more item drops. Obviously, I'm sure you would have been able to put that together yourselves, but it is always a good little tip that I want to give out, as it helps me along the way every single time. It just boosts the amount of spawns of your items and thus allows you to move on quicker from each stage. Another thing that I would recommend doing is this Halcyon Shrine if you guys do have the DLC. I'm sure you already know what it does, granted that it was, I believe, released a long time ago, so hopefully for those that do know what it does, well, you know why you would do it. For those who don't, after you complete it, you get a bunch of items. So you get, I believe it's 3 items per player who does it, along with increased enemy spawns. Hence why I recommend doing it, but only do it when you believe you are strong enough, because it is difficult. As I don't know what they're called, the Halcyons or something like that. They are extremely deadly, and they do a ton of damage. So even now it's a bit stressful, but I can just do that and leave it up to my will-o-wisps to take care of the rest, hopefully. Grab one of those, and now we start moving, because those guys again are very, very dangerous. Yep. So I'm attempting to just currently utilize as many of the will-o-wisps as I can, but we are going to have to start running away because they are deadly. Whoa. Hence why I said they're deadly. So we actually get to see what they're called. So a Helkionite. Yeah, that's why they're deadly. They do a ton of damage, especially their range. I was attempting to dodge it there by getting behind that rock, but I wasn't very successful. Now I am kind of getting sick of dying and showing it on the video, so instead I'm going to just be back when we are strong enough to actually survive for at least a few of these stages. But it is going to take me a bit, so we will be back shortly. All right, so now that I focused up quite a bit and built a ridiculous little build here, we actually managed to make it to the second stage. So what I have is just a bunch of ignition, so 2 ignition tanks and then a bunch of gasoline, so that every time I actually kill even the most basic of enemies, they explode into fire damage that just kills everything. Now, what I want to build here is mainly luck. If I can increase my luck, I can increase the amount of items that drop from enemies. But there is quite a few really, really good items to get. But we're gonna build luck. There, like I said, there is quite a few really good like red items to get in the future. I am not that future point right now, so for now we are just going to build up luck so that we can obtain more items. It's already been 14 minutes and we've only cleared stage 1. Normally you can clear stage 1 in like 4 minutes, but I was waiting to get a bunch of items and hoping for the best. Now we move on to stage 2, where I'll essentially do the same. I'm going to try and farm as much as I can until I can basically just skip a few stages and move on. But yeah, the current build, which, I mean, to be honest, it's not a bad build at all. You kill one enemy, it sets another one on fire, dealing 25 damage per tick. Because of how, the more ignition tanks you actually get, the more damage that'll be. As you can see, this guy now has 2 fire ticks on him. He dies, those get fire, now they get fire. They set fire to that guy, he'll die, set fire to those guys. And those guys set fire to him, and it moves on. Essentially, it is an infinite chain of just fire. Really, really good for us. I need to go and get that so that we can visit the bazaar again, because I forgot to take any blue items. I had a feeling I was forgetting something. Now I know, and I am upset by it. An item just dropped somewhere. I just don't know where. There it is. Now, in case you didn't hear it, there is a slight audio cue whenever an item drops. Sometimes it will be drowned out by the amount of noises like death or your abilities are making, stuff like that. I'm sure you're starting out for that. But always try your best to keep an eye out or an ear out, even if you can confidently get them. If you can confidently hear the noise, then definitely keep out an ear. Because those are the most important things to every run is your items. Why? I want to go up here. Thank you. Now we just wait once more, and we actually should have been able to just jump this. Yep. Still good to wait in case we couldn't jump it. Now we know we can get another gasoline and another gasoline in a moment here. I just want to kill this. So I'm actually going to build another ignition tank. I want to get at least 5 of them. Each one of them quadruples the amount of damage your fire does, apparently. Now, I don't know the actual, like, stacking effectiveness of them, but that's what it says. That's what I'm going to believe. We're also going to start building up some crit. That way our actual hits crit. Again, we want 5 ignition if possible. There we go. There's our 5th ignition. Perfect. Now that we have all of our ignitions, what I would recommend building is some infusion for health, some willows, just so that you can map wide clear, including with the fire. Because as good of a build as the fire is, eventually the will-o-wisps do outdo damage and are just overall I believe even a larger blast radius. So do definitely build up quite a few of those. I would recommend, unless it's 2 week, going up to 10. If it's 2 week, then go to like 15. Go up in increments of 5. Those typically give the best output. Give the best. I don't know the word. I can't come to mind with the word. That's alright. But as always, back to the farming. I'm gonna go find the portal before I start actually farming this stage, because if I can find the portal, then I can just leave whenever I want. I believe. There it is. So you can tell by the particles that are in the air where the portal is. It always has the same particles, except I believe for the primordial portal, which is typically just, you know, visible somewhere. I'm on your head. But going to the portal, then we're gonna just wait it out until we get enough items. Alright, so I spent quite a while looking for this chest, but I just wanted to show you guys that on some of the stages, like this one here, I don't know the name of it sadly, so I can't give you that info. But on some of the stages, there is some really cool, a really cool chest, right? And what it does is it costs a fortune, literal armor and leg of many of your enemies, and it will thus give you a wonderful legendary item. Now, if you guys have the chance, like I technically did, what I recommend you do is you get a item. Let me quickly show it to you now. You get it from these green drops, or you get it from any kind of green item. Maybe if you aren't using the same method as me and you are instead trying to get lucky with it, what you do is you get a thing called a star. I actually need to find it to get the actual name of it, but with all these guppies blocking me, so you get this, and it's called a sail star. Now, as you can see what it says there, you get more items per for the first chest you open in a run. So if you ever spawn on one of these, there are a few of them. I'll see if I can get any more in a future episode if I can find a different one. But if you, for instance, get on this map, look for these glowing pink flowers. They will lead you to where the chest is. So like this one, you can see it has this little trail. It keeps on going, and then there's this big cluster of them. And where the cluster is, you'll find the chest. So that's a really cool feature of this map. I'm going to go, now that I've found this finally, I'm going to go and now fight the boss. I just want to keep on getting some more movement speed item. Because as we all know from my last run, movement speed is actually way more important than you might think. Because if we are to fight, which I don't think we will be doing for this episode, because we are quite weak compared to being an engineer. But if we were to fight the final boss, we need a decent amount of movement speed first. Perfect. Always make sure to try and final hit them with that. I'm getting some infusions here just so that I can increase my max health, because I don't want to die in one shot. But I'm going to quickly fight this boss. We're going to go back to... I actually didn't get the blue thing, so I'm actually going to go and get that quickly. Then we're going to go over to the bazaar, get ourselves some more wonderful items, and we should be on our way to fighting the final boss very soon. All right, so we've actually made it to the final area of the moon. Now, you guys saw in the last episode what we have to do. We essentially have to travel a long distance, activate some of these shrine things that all have a different little effect, and using that as our little basis, we then have to defeat the Moon Lord guy. Now, because all of that is a known system, I just want to show off what we've built. So in the beginning, we had the fire build, which was just relying upon the gasoline and ignition tanks. Then we got a Titanic curl for health and regeneration. We got some 5-leaf clovers just so that we can keep lucky. That way we always crit by having 10 lens makers. We got an old guillotine by mistake, but I mean, elite monsters get executed when they're slightly low on HP. Then we got a bunch of will-o-wisps, because despite the gas, will-o-wisps again are stronger and do more damage. Then we got the Panula. That way we receive flat healing whenever we deal damage, whenever we take damage. We got these long-standing solitudes. Because we don't actually have to purchase any chests, this doesn't have any drawbacks. Instead, it just makes it so that we can actually level up quicker, which is, as I'm sure you can guess, extremely helpful. Can this die? Thank you. So with that extremely helpful little bit, we then move on to the gestures. That way we can constantly use goop. We then got this empathy core that spawns in these little drones here, which allow us to stay nice and allied up, keeping us above hopefully the rest of the block of enemies. Next, we got obviously our healing. I didn't manage to find any curse things, so we have to stand still to actually trigger it, but I did get a Aegis later on so that we can have double our max health. We have to head up there. So with all of that, we then moved on to getting survivability. So hence the bustling fungus. Can I make it back up? I can. So hence the bustling fungus to survive, infusions to stay healthy. These, whenever we're next to an enemy and we start combat, we start healing off of them. We literally leech off of their own life. Then we got tougher times so that we can block some attacks. We got hoof, these goat hoofs so that we can actually move and have some speed. The sail star was just so I could figure out the name. We only come across one legendary chest per loop. We then got a laser scope so our critical strikes deal more damage, and Aegis so that we can get max health, double the healing, regenerating scrap just so that we can get a bunch of red items, this defense nucleus so that every time we kill like one of these guys we summon in an ally, and then the Halcyon seed to help during the final up and coming boss fight. Now I do wish that we had a chance to go back to the blue portal area. I forget what the name of it always is, because we are still missing 2 gestures, which means that we aren't as efficient as we could be. Very upsetting. But regardless, we are basically quite strong already, and I am not going to go and loot. Instead, we are just going to try and win now. Put one of those down, let's head over to the rest. So, you guys now know the build. I'm going to quickly get up to the boss fight, and let's hope we can win. Alright, let's actually finally be in the final boss fight. So I went and got myself a little bit more movement speed and a little bit more of those teddy bears, just so that we can, like, hopefully survive a bit longer. Actually didn't get any bleed this run, which is fine. Granted, it is going to be a little bit more annoying. But with all of our little gooby juniors here, they're going to be helping us out with all of these boss fights anyway. Oh no, break beneath me, my good sir. You are but too weak for me to do such a thing. Oh great heavens, he has a ranged attack now. But what will he do against my little goobers? Nothing. For you are weak, sire. Do not slam your hammer at me, child. Now, we don't deal like nearly as much damage as we could. Granted, if I dealt bleed damage, stuff like that, it would have been a lot better. But regardless of the fact, I kind of was just going for survivability because I was just kind of worried I wouldn't be able to survive long enough. And then I built allies to help me with that fact. Regardless, in the future runs, I must remember to actually build to kill the enemy. through like bleed, stuff like that. Could you stop dodging around like that? You keep making me miss. Thank you. Can you... Thank you. Kaboom. That kills me? That kills me. I'm starting to think that I'm just really bad at this game. Because I died to this boss, and I died to the other boss now. But we are out of time for this video, so sadly we end up losing another run. But we got a lot of monster logs, which I don't know why I should have all of these already unlocked. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. In the next episode, I'm going to go for a win. So I'm going to play engineer, I'm going to take a bunch of this, and I'm going to get as strong as possible. I'm going to make it so that the enemies regret ever trying to face off against me. But until that run, as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.